Welcome to the Real Estate Reserve Podcast. I'm Jason Ballin from Hard Money Bankers, and my co-host Ian Horowitz from Equity Warehouse, back in studio, Aviva, talking industrial warehouse and a lot of other fun things. She was a past guest. If you heard her a few weeks ago, we had a real amazing conversation. We invited her back on to talk about the deal that changed her life. Aviva, how are you? Good to see you again. And yeah, when you ever have a second, jump right in and let's talk about that one big deal.
Jason, Ian, thank you so much for having me. This has been fun. All right, I got two deals, and I'll be brief with them. One deal was my very first deal, and then another deal is one that I'm in right now. The one that I'm in right now that's changing my life. We went under contract on behalf of a seller 2 weeks ago with an institutional buyer. We'll say on a Monday. Friday, the entire institutional group flies out, comes sees the property. It's 3 warehouses on 5 acres. They love it. Everybody's happy. Mazel tov. So we go under contract Monday. They come out Friday. We're all happy. Following Monday, this was probably 2 weeks ago, one of the buildings burns down to the ground. And the funny thing about that is I call up my old man who's been in the business for 45 years. I said, Dad, we're under contract. A building just burnt down. One of the buildings just burnt down. And he said, well, I've never had that happen before. And, talk to a couple other people who just go, holy shit, I have never heard of this happening before. And it's changing my life because it's very humbling that every deal is different and that you can never expect or anticipate anything. And make sure your tenants have insurance, because what a nightmare if they didn't.
Yep.
Yeah. That's all I'll say about that one. To be continued on what happens there. The other deal that changed my life, at the beginning of my commercial real estate career, I got my license, and then I called every managing broker in town, met with them, and I couldn't get anybody to hire me. They wanted real estate experience or sales experience, and I had only ever been a waitress. So I was like, I sell beer, and they were like, okay, please leave. So I got wind that office building nearby was getting torn down. Honestly, my mom was a dentist, and it was her building. And she turned to me and she said, you can represent these people in helping them find new space. And that is commercial real estate. What a lot of people don't know is the entire industry of tenant representation, right? I didn't even know that existed. So you go to business owners and you convince them to let you help them find a new space for their business. And coincidentally, because they were about to tear this building down, everybody in the building had to move. So I put on a pantsuit, which is funny because now I just wear sweatpants everywhere I go, and convinced all these doctors and office users to let me help them find a new space for their business. Got a couple deals under my belt. Well, got a couple deals in tow, and then I could get somebody finally to hire me as a broker. I just had to bootstrap it. So that was how I got my start in commercial real estate with tenant rep, which is a very profitable business. Even I know my biggest commission checks have been through tenant representation, and I know the most sophisticated brokers who only do tenant rep because it's a really serious, fun, cool aspect of commercial real estate.
Yeah, there's definitely a specialty to tenant representation and the brokerage side, and every piece to it, and each has its. We're learning this in real time that our tenant rep might not be our best sales broker just because everyone looks at deals different. So that's actually pretty interesting, because if you guys heard a few weeks ago, you were talking about how your dad was in the business. So when you came into the business, you didn't actually go work for dad, I guess is the best way to say it, and managing that portfolio and placing tenants, you actually went out and cut your teeth on your own and then ended up back in your own portfolio?
Correct.
Huh.
He never wanted to hire me. He never wanted to give me a silver spoon, and it was all for my own benefit.
And there you go. You just showed up with a lease one day and broke his, gave it to him and said, "Sir, this is the lease that you're taking, and that's it." And he said, "I better hire this one." So,
hey, yeah. Hey, that's the business. You eat what you kill. And if you have your hand out, you're going to starve. So
That's right.
Yeah, you got to love the chase.
I think Ian and my businesses are both going to be set up like that for the future as kids get a little bit older and a little bit anxious and ambitious. It's like, here you go. Here's your book of business. Here's your your current your current white pages, yellow pages, which don't exist now and they won't exist in the future either. But you get the point. Be like, start bringing in deals, and we're in.
And you know what? It was so advantageous the way my old man didn't want to teach me anything and wouldn't. It just gave me all the runway to have to figure it out in my own way, which happened to be online. And now when I'm running with all these deals and these leads and everything's from online, my old man's really, he still doesn't get it. He knows they're from the internet, but he is friggin' thrilled because the internet is really, really, really powerful.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunity that comes from it.
Hey, Dad, I'm a magician. You didn't even know it. I just make these leads pop. So, no, Aviva, that's awesome. And your first story with the burnout, I'm interested to see if the owner is going to pass the insurance check, or they're going to go back and rebuild, or they're going to retrade. I'll be interested to follow that story along with you. So.
Me too. Stand by.
Refresh everybody watching or listening how they can find you and your website and things like that.
Yeah. So you can follow me on all social media platforms at Aviva Real Estate. I have a podcast, Commercial Real Estate Secrets, and for all brokerage services, warehousehotline.com.
Guys, if you got any value out of this, please feel free to go ahead and share it. Let's show our love to Aviva. You got any value, or you want someone else to hear about it, hit the share button, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Real Estate Reserve podcast. Do us a favor and like, comment, and share our broadcast. It helps the algorithm and helps us spread the word too.